What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Rezolve AI. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what is really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So despite the NASDAQ down 1.69%, Rezolve just said, F that, I'm going higher. So it is up 1.08%, 475 the high, 420 the low. So almost about like a 22% swing range from today. So ultimately, even during the pre-market, you did see it hit a low of roughly around 3.87%. So a 15% pullback. So absolutely crazy stuff. I want to break it down on what's really kind of causing all this price action. But starting off, the broader market is very fearful because of Trump, Greenland, tariffs, and all the whole shebang. So I'm sure a lot of you already know about that. That came out over the weekend. People were digesting what was going to come from it. In some cases, you're starting to see a nice little bit of a recovery, but right now, I think there's still a certain level of uncertainty. We did have one data point that came out first thing, and that was ADP employment. The weekly came in at 8,000, so the market was digesting that. But aside from that one data point, today is more of a reflection day. Plus, after hours, we have Netflix's earnings, so that most likely is going to be a big deal. Surprisingly, you would have anticipated there be some news to cause it to go this green, but there hasn't been anything. So no news, no SEC filings, no posts on social media. So very, very odd stuff. You are starting to see, interestingly enough as well, a lot of bullish articles coming out about Rezolve, one of which was on Yahoo, and so a bull case theory on Rezolve. Nothing really new or speculative in this, aside from what's already known. So I think just generally the last call on the 13th was a big deal and really started to turn some heads. And I do feel it's just a matter of time before some big firms actually start to give some ratings on Rezolve, and that will cause some crazy price action because, again, no hate towards Northland, AGP, Maxim, and so forth, but a lot of these are kind of B-level institutions, unfortunately. But nonetheless, today, we're seeing some good stuff. Right now, shorts are increasing about 64,000 shares. 31.23% of the free float is being shorted. Works to be 37.08 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow, 7.53. So that's an annual rate, not a daily rate. DTC being at 2.06 days really does signal that shorts are relatively overextended. But the main reason why Rezolve is moving higher is institutions as well as technicals. So I'll go over that in a second, but we are seeing a lot of institutional transactions. So right now the market's been only open about 30 minutes and we're at roughly around 9 million for volume. We're seeing a lot of big buys. And so of course, algorithmic trading does pick up on this as someone knows something. So whenever there's some abnormal activity, typically AI really pushes the stock higher. So this combination, this string of buying right here, ultimately triggered algorithmic trading to really push it higher. This is why shorts are trying and are most likely baffled because they are trying to increase, but they most likely have lost a significant sum over the last little bit. And so for instance, just the last 5 days, it is up 18.69%. On the dark pool, we're seeing already a lot of big transactions, a lot of which are linked to shorts and most likely a lot of hold numbers. So a lot of that is linked to hedge funds as well. Looking at the options right now, 452,000 in calls, 89,000 in puts. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but for Rezolve, that is a pretty big deal. 48% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. And that could just be maybe larger funds just hedging, locking in some profits or whatever else. From a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be above 5 by the end of this week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub kind of 450. So definitely there is a lot more upside than down, and given what's happening in the broader market. So quickly giving you an overview, NASDAQ's down 1.8, S&P 1.53, Dow is down 1.49. So given all of that, Rezolve is deserving of a round of applause. One thing to take note of though, with it at 468, it is above all the key fib levels. And so ultimately, quickly going to the 4 hour, we did close on Friday on a key level. So for today, just watch for 492 and then 434 to be the next strong target and support. I don't know if Rezolve still has a lot of good momentum, but even looking at my watch list right over here, like Rezolve is the only green stock out there. So Rezolve, again, is doing phenomenal. A lot of that price action, like I mentioned, was institutions buying for whatever reason. Maybe there is going to be some news that does come out in the next day or day and a half that maybe, again, institutions might know ahead of time. I'd like to say that the market is perfect and that doesn't happen, but it does all the time. So one thing as well to take into consideration is this green line, that 100-day moving average. That's been a big deal for the last couple trading days for Rezolve. It really did struggle between the 9th and the 14th to get above that, but luckily enough, it did break above that on the 15th and so far has held above it. And so generally speaking, the technicals are looking very good, signaling that we might have a very nice continued push higher despite everything that is happening in the broader market. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Even during kind of the pre-market, it was, I believe, the 9th most heavily traded stock. And this is why I did cover it in my pre-market video. Just unfortunately, at that time, it was down 9%. So you could have easily made some pretty good money by swing trading it. But I think right now, institutions buying and at the same time, the technicals really staying above that 100-day moving average is usually a good sign that we'll be seeing a nice continued push higher. So let me know your thoughts on Rezolve. Are you buying? Are you selling? What is your general thoughts on Rezolve? And do you think that today's red day for the broader market is justified or not? What's your kind of honest thoughts on that? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. I have a promotion right now where it is $10 a month, and if you get in, it will never increase whatsoever. Many of the day trades, despite what's happening in the broader market, are acting exactly like Rezolve and are up solid double digit, in some cases even on Friday triple digit. So worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.